For nearly 250 years, the United States has stood as a beacon of liberty and a global superpower. Its revolution is a cornerstone of modern history, a story of brave patriots fighting for an impossible ideal. But what if that story had ended differently? What if the most powerful empire on earth had not been humbled? What if the American Revolution had failed? This is History Reimagined. Welcome to this episode. In the late 18th century, the American Revolution was a desperate gamble against overwhelming odds. On one side stood the mighty British Empire, with the world's most powerful navy and a professional army that had humbled empires. Britain was a global superpower. On the other side were the colonists, a fledgling nation with no established army, no unified government, and no guarantee of support. They were a small, defiant group of farmers and merchants fighting for an impossible ideal. In 1775, 13 colonies stood against the mightiest empire on earth, Britain. A scattered people, armed with hope and muskets, daring to dream of independence. At the heart of the struggle was George Washington, leading a ragged, underfed army, fighting not just for land, but for an idea, liberty. The war was a struggle of survival. George Washington's Continental Army was perpetually outgunned, outmaneuvered, and on the brink of total collapse. The revolution was not a story of certain victory. It was a desperate race to the finish line, and it nearly lost at a place where no one fired a single shot. The winter of 1777 was a brutal test. After a series of crushing defeats, George Washington's army retreated to Valley Forge. The conditions were horrific. Lacking food, proper clothing, and medicine, thousands of soldiers perished from disease and starvation. The Continental Army was a whisper away from disintegrating completely. The British were just a day's march away, comfortably settled in Philadelphia. In our timeline, a smallpox inoculation program and the arrival of Baron von Steuben to train the army saved it. But what if the British had not rested? What if they had launched a surprise winter attack on the starving, freezing Americans? What if the Continental Army had collapsed at Valley Forge? In our reimagined timeline, the British do not wait. They launch a surprise attack on Valley Forge, and Washington's army, already on the verge of collapse, is annihilated. The American Revolution is over. The Declaration of Independence becomes a historical footnote, an ambitious but failed document. Washington and the other revolutionary leaders are captured, tried for treason, and executed. The rebellion is crushed, and Britain tightens its grip on the American colonies. The British Empire now reigns supreme. With no American Revolution to inspire them, other colonial uprisings across the globe are stifled. The world lacks the foundational blueprint of liberty and democratic ideals that the United States would later provide. The French Revolution may still happen, but without the American precedent and financial support, its outcome is far less certain. The course of global democracy for the next 2 centuries is erased. The 20th century unfolds without an American superpower. No D-Day, no flag on the moon. Instead, the Union Jack dominates the modern world. The success of the American Revolution was never guaranteed. It was a story of a few brave individuals and a long string of luck that defied all logic. It shows us that liberty is not inevitable, but a precious gift won through sacrifice. The world we live in today, with its freedoms and democracies, exists because of a winter where hope nearly froze to death, and a revolution that refused to fail. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to History Reimagined to explore more alternate timelines with us.